Here is a subject that does not seem to go anytime soon, and is not really a new subject, just one that has been amplified by the departure of Johnny Gaudreau, and the possible departure of Matthew Tkachuk from Calgary, probably again to American team. Directly of Johnny Gaudreau in the article for his players today, he left to be closer to his family. He will not live in the same street as them, but this shorter flight, a manageable driving and a schedule that will see him in the New York region, New Jersey and Philadelphia seems more often than he made a choice family-based staff. It is not he who chooses America over Canada, it is he who chooses his family above Canada. In many ways, it seems that it is the same story with Matthew Tkachuk. It has long been suspected that Tkachuk finds the fastest path to the free agency so that he can come back to play for his hometown of St. Louis Blues. It turns out that St. Louis is in America, it's at home. This is what he knows, and it is no different from Pierre-Luc Dubois trying to find his Winnipeg path so that he can play in Montreal. It is not always fair for the teams that live these departures, but it is not exactly just for players to be written and locked in a limited free agency for the next 8 to 9 years of their lives. To a certain extent, I applaud that Tkachuk and Dubois are trying to take control of the situation earlier. Of course, the situation is not exactly a two-way street, and for players of all nationality, there are advantages to play in the United States. Quite simply, it is easier to be rich in America. Tax rates are favorable, things like unconditional health care do not take into account. The housing market in most of the country is not as ridiculous as in Canada. Most of the country has preferable weather conditions, and there is a greater possibility of having a privacy than in Canada. However, we know of Tavares that it goes in both directions. And valid American free agents like Blake Coleman recently chose Calgary. In the end, the money and the chance to gain still have a lot of weight in the decision-making process, and Canada is not screwed up by borders. Continue reading below. So how does it affect Leafs? In the short term, I would say that it is enough for a reason to pump the brakes of your Matthew Tkachuk to the Leafs trade proposal. I'm sure it was a good one, and yes, I know Tkachuk is friends with Matthews and Marner, but I'm sure they have a